thanks for staying with us. Nigerian Customs Service continue to fight smugglers along the nation's borderline. Also on customs support, Tinkan 2 generates more revenue for the country. Plus, more report. I am Igiseme Itinye. Stay tuned. The management of Nigerian Customs Service has been speaking with members of the National Assembly in Abuja. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has been briefing members of what's happening in the service.
For tax evasion and economic sabotage, thus high level of this relationship must be deliberately structured in order to broaden our tax collectivity. Page 8, Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators. 2022 expected income. The service proposed a budget expenditure of 369.14 billion for the year 2022, which will be sourced from the following sources. First is the 7% cost of collection for the year 2022. We expect to reach 151.84 billion. 2, 60% CISS granted by Mr. President, we expect to reach 60.12 billion. And 2% share of the NCS VAT collection, there we expect to generate 14.94 billion. And then the retained income for the year 2021 to roll over to 2022 is 114.39 billion. And the share of the excess of the 2021 budget, which of course we couldn't have made any effort of spending it because it was not budgeted, as a result of the of exceeding the target, we were able to get this amount also added to our own collection. The total sum, therefore, distinguished chair, is 369.14 billion. The expected income will be utilized as follows. First, personnel cost. We expect, if everything goes well, to expend 108.85%, 85 billion, or 29.49% of the budget on personnel cost. Then overhead cost. We expect to spend 45.89 billion, or 12.43 billion of the entire budget. Capital cost. The total cost here is almost all the bulk of our money will go on capital expenditure. And here, this is one of the few budgets that is I think nationwide, that you find out that much money is put in capital instead of overhead and personnel costs. So here Mr. Chairman, by the grace of God, expect to spend 214.30 billion, which is 58.08% of the total budget of 369.04 billion. Major highlights of the proposed budget expenditure. Personnel cost for 2022. The nominal roll of 15,004 personnel and 3,200 expected recruitment of cadets are used in estimating the personnel cost of 108.85 billion, which comprises of 86.50 billion is an allocation for personnel salaries and allowances. 7.73 billion is provision for employers' contribution under the National Pension Scheme. 3.93 billion is a provision for employers' contribution to National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS.
He told members of the committee that customs will always obey the laws as approved by government.
And then I start with item 2 there, which is the review of the 2021 approved budget performance. Revenue performance of 2021 budget. The approved revenue target for the year 2021 stood at 1.679 trillion. The service collected a total revenue of 1.716 trillion for the period of January to December 2021. When compared to the approved revenue target of the same period, January to December 2020, the service surpassed its target by 504.34 billion, or 41.63%. The service also collected the sum of 525.06 billion as value-added tax on imports from January to December 2021, thereby bringing the total collection for the year 2021 to 2.241 trillion for the period under review. Page 3. Most importantly, the above remarkable performance was recorded amidst the following militating factors. As usual, as always, we continue to state this because they are part of the militating factors against what we believe would enhance the collection of revenue and maximizing our collection. First among them is the standing government, the deliberate trade and economic policies, monetary both and physical, such as the restriction of 43 items from accessing forex at official window. While we're not saying we're not against it, and I'm sure the wisdom behind this is good enough, but it is one of those things that has reduced the amount that we would have collected. 2, the non-functional scanners at the various customs scanning sites. This factor has adversely affected the service's ability to carry out effective examination for selective consignment, and the chairman made mention of this in his opening remarks. 3, only 2 commodities, cigarette and alcoholic beverages, were under excise control within the period under review. So we are yet to get the directive to start collecting the 10% on carbonated drink, and also we are yet to come to terms of who is going to collect the telecommunication excise. That is still under process, and it is our hope that before the end of the first quarter of this year, we will precisely get go ahead to start collecting, because every day that passes by, we are losing revenue.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The Customs Area Controller in charge of Niger and Kogi Command has warned smugglers to desist from the axis and face other means of livelihood. He was speaking when he displayed some seizures to members of the press in the state.
The Niger Kogi Command is one of the largest interland command of Nigerian Customs Service, with its main function of anti-smuggling and trade facilitation, and also carrying out the directives of the federal government as regards fiscal policies. When I took over the mantle of leadership 3 months ago, the federal government's directive of border closure is still in place. And luckily for us, the Controller General of Customs gave us 13 new hillocks, brand new hillocks, with 2 gun trucks. With this on ground, we reorganized the operations of the command by creating additional roving teams. The command became unbearable for smugglers and those who venture into smuggling, and non-compliant traders have stories to tell when it comes to that. The outcome of this is these seizures we are showcasing today.
He also urged importers to come forward and clear their consignments without delay.
Graciously approved the postings of clearance audit and valuation officers to this command. And within 1 month of their operations, we were able to recover total sums of 74,919,135 only. You cannot have that. You cannot have this kind of support from the Controller General and his management and my officers and not be able to perform. It is in justification of this aforementioned that I share with you today the record of our activities in anti-smuggling operations and revenue recovery in this command. In the area of anti-smuggling activities, during the period under review, the command has been able to record seizures and detention of exotic vehicles totaling 101 units of different makes, some of which are displayed here within the office premises. And with them, we have 8 suspects arrested and are being prosecuted in the court of law. Other seizures recorded at various places within the area of operation in various quantities during the period are also in display. You can see them here, which includes rice, carpets, spaghetti, couscous, assorted water and drinks. The cumulative value of these seizures is estimated to be around 755,337,866 kobo. We also recovered revenue that should have been lost to the total sum of 74,919,135,000 during the period. To achieve this feat, ladies and gentlemen, we deployed massive intelligence and applied the rules of engagement in our operations. Thus, no casualty is recorded all through. In carrying out our mandate, we have been engaging youth in our border communities and enlightening them on the ills of smuggling and other related vices to the Nigerian economy. I have also directed the heads of all the outstations to establish a community relations committee where we will be liaising with the local chiefs and youth in order to educate them and guide them on the means of doing legal business apart from smuggling. I want to make it clear to those living within Niger Kogi Command area of operations and its environs that the federal government's directive on border closure is still in force, particularly in Babana, the only border station we have in the command. Thus, there are no export or import activities through the border until further notice.
The acting controller in charge of Federal Operations Zone A have been speaking on the seizures made by his command. So that his command will continue to implement government measures as approved by government, saying that any importer caught bringing in consignment into the country without approval will be seized. He speaks more on the number of seizures.
Achievements I'm about to inundate you with are the results of our officers' meticulous documentary checks in ensuring that identified revenue leakages are plugged. Successes recorded in the anti-smuggling drives are products of sustained vigilance and intelligence deployment within the port and border corridors. I must also commend personnel's professionalism in compliance with the extant regulations. On the whole, the entire success of the unit is premised on the improved logistics supplied by the management of the service headquarters, interagency collaboration with sister security agencies, esteemed stakeholders as well as patriotic citizens for providing useful and timely information. Goods seized within the first 6 months of the year are worth a cumulative duty paid value of 7,116,932,050 naira. These seizures were made for contravention of different customs offenses. A total of 103 suspects were arrested in connection with some of the seized goods. Among the numerous seized items are, from January to June 2022, 1. 45,928 bags of foreign parboiled rice of 50 kg each, equivalent to 77 trailer loads. 265,830 liters of premium motor spirit. 2,933 bales of used clothes. 233 cartons of tramadol, 225 milligram each, and 83 packs of 225 milligram each. 65 units of used vehicles. 14,784 pieces of used tires. 119 units of used motorcycles. 3,659.05 kg of cannabis sativa, otherwise known as Indian hemp, 277 cartons of expired alcoholic drinks. Let me use this medium to remind the business community that although some of the land borders were reopened, it is worthy of note to be reminded and to know that they were reopened for legitimate businesses. Importers, agents, and the general public are enjoined to be acquainted with the federal government fiscal policies, customs extant regulations, as well as import and export prohibition lists for proper guidance. On interceptions, 4 tankers on suspicion of diversion were arrested. They were still undergoing investigation. They are still under detention. But the 4 tankers are there. They are not carrying PMS. They are carrying diesel, black oil. And you know it's not all that highly inflammable. But they are highly protected where they are, under proper guard. The collaboration with Marine is seriously working. Why I said it's working right now, from that day on, that notorious Adodo, we have brought it down to our knees. It's complete total blockade. If you go there now, I rotate the officers, Adodo, up to Ibukia, you can't move anything. As a matter of fact, their traditional rulers came, they said they want to have words with me, and I said, see, if it is concerning smuggling, please count me out. But if you have anybody who is about to do legitimate trade, legitimate business, I will follow that person to the last to make sure that he succeeds. Because that is where the nation will benefit. The nation cannot benefit through smuggling. Smuggling bleeds the nation too. And we don't want that smuggling to bleed our nation to death. It is heart-rending to see that able, agile men, instead of looking for legitimate trade, they will be going after smuggling. So, with Marine, like the first thing we did the other time, I've already intimated them. As soon as I have another intelligence on water, since I cannot go on water alone, I cannot even go on water, I will liaise with them. If I have the information, I will give to them, we will treat it together. And we are still on that. But right now, that whole area is being cordoned. Send any team there, any journalist will tell you that place, you meet some people both day and night.
The Nigerian Customs Service has net a total of 117.6 billion naira for the first half of 2022. The area controller said the command recently recorded 12.3% increase in the revenue, which is over 13 billion naira when compared to 105 billion naira in 2021.
Complaints arose from human nature. We don't want change. So once we find ourselves in the comfort zone, we don't want anything that will take us to that comfort zone. Whereas the end of our comfort zone is a change for a better situation. And that's what we are really experiencing. At the implementation of the VIN valuation, which you claim they are complaining about, what we did was to do the risk analysis, particularly on the non-standard VINs. For the standard VINs, it was quite simple, easy. Once a declarant goes into the system, it's able to make use of the platform and the value automatically generated. But for the non-standard, subject to manipulation, subject to abuse, what did we do? We analyzed the risk involved about this manipulation, probably use of discretion, and we put up measures heavily backed by the management and the TNT headquarters, were properly guided, and we adhere strictly to the standard operating procedure. So with that in place, we're able to annex the maximum available revenue, especially where we make sure that discretion is out of it. We are properly guided by our books of instruction and our database. So, and that has really helped our revenue. In the first 6 months of this year, we have generated 117 billion, 568 million, 218,513 naira. This is against 104 billion, 649 million, 202,000 and 251 naira generated in the corresponding period of the year 2021. And this is what gives us 12.3% increase over year 2021.
The zonal ACG in charge of Zone C has pulled out of the service after serving for 35 years in the Nigerian Customs Service. The retiring ACG thanks Almighty God for making him to retire without any problem.
How to get to this level? How do you move to get to this level? It entails a lot. First of all, it entails the 7 C's. The 7 C's are just like customs constitution to guide your day-to-day activities. It's for you to know what to do at any point in time. And that is why I always enjoy officers to acquit themselves with 7 C's and practice it. When you practice it, it helps you. It guides you. So most time, you not be involved in anything that is inordinate, or anything that can lead to malfeasance, or anything that can cause problems for you. The job is moving. The job itself is dynamic. When we started the job, we used to have entry at the port. We have entry, we started moving. Now we are 962. With each course that is even coming, I'm too sure some of the software will be, I would say, changed entirely. There will be improvement. That's why I keep on talking to my junior ones that now, what we have now is e-customs. Be diligent at your work, do your job. Discipline matters. Come to the office on time. I love my job.
Some of the area controllers who attended the pull-out session said that the service will continue to promote cordial relationship with former and present customs officers in the country.
I got into contact closely with him. That was when he connected me with the rank of controller here. That was when I came closer to him. And incidentally, I happened to be posted here as the customs area controller area 1. So we had interactions with him, and I've seen a very erudite scholar and a father, a mentor. Because every time I go to him, we all go to him, we learn the lesson. And I pray, Oga, when you go on retirement, you will sit down and write a memo so that those of us coming behind, the generations behind, will learn a lot from knowledge.
You decide on what you want to do. Well, it won't be difficult. I know it won't be difficult for you, because if you are good to your mates, your juniors, friends, and colleagues generally, it is not, and it will never be difficult to situate yourself wherever you find yourself tomorrow. And my prayer can only be that Almighty God will guide your steps.
I wish him good luck in his retirement years to go. I wish him good health, and I wish him all the best in all his future endeavors.
My goodwill message to Assistant Controller General Kayode is that God will continue to bless him. He's a man that we have worked with, very disciplined, very hardworking, and a man who always wants to provide a solution to any problem.
The good Lord will be with him. The face of God will not depart from him, from his home. God will take care of his family. It will be well with everything that concerns him.
Nice, reliable, polite, decent, honorable, name it, chuck it. He deserves this. Let me talk sorry short. He's a man of honor. We thank God for honoring him, for people honoring him today.
Just before we round up this week edition of the program, Customs Report, we brought you a report where some of the command in the country made serious worth billions of naira. For me, Igiseme Itinye, thanks for watching.